Act 5 of Henry VI Part 1 by William Shakespeare. This is a Librivox recording. All Librivox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit Librivox.org. Act 5, Scene 1. London. The Palace. Senate. Enter King Henry VI, Gloucester, and Exeter.
Have you perused the letters from the Pope, the Emperor, and the Earl of Armagnac?
I have, my lord, and their intent is this. They humbly sue unto your excellence to have a godly peace concluded of between the realms of England and of France.
How doth your grace effect their motion?
Well, my good lord, and as the only means to stop effusion of our Christian blood, and stablish quietness on every side.
Ay, marry, uncle, for I always thought it was both impious and unnatural that such amenity and bloody strife should reign among professors of one faith.
Beside, my lord, the sooner to effect and surer bind this knot of amity. The Earl of Armagnac, near knit to Charles, a man of great authority in France, proffers his only daughter to your grace in marriage, with a large and sumptuous dowry.
Marriage, uncle! Alas, my years are young, and fitter is my study and my books than wanton dalliance with a paramour. Yet call the ambassador, and as you please, so let them have their answers every one. I shall be well content with any choice tends to God's glory and my country's weal.
Enter Cardinal of Winchester, in cardinal's habit, a legate and 2 ambassadors.
What? Is my Lord of Winchester installed, and called unto a cardinal's degree? Then I perceive that will be verified. Henry V did sometime prophesy, if once he come to be a cardinal, he'll make his cap co-equal with the crown.
My lords ambassadors, your several suits have been considered and debated on, and therefore are we certainly resolved to draw conditions of a friendly peace, which by my Lord of Winchester we mean shall be transported presently to France.
And for the proffer of my lord your master, I have informed his highness so at large, as liking of the lady's virtuous gifts, her beauty, and the value of her dower. He doth intend she shall be England's queen.
In argument and proof of which contract, bear her this jewel, pledge of my affection, and so, my Lord Protector, see them guarded and safely brought to Dover, where in shipped commit them to the fortune of the sea.
Exeunt all but Cardinal of Winchester and legate.
Stay, my lord legate. You shall first receive the sum of money which I promised should be delivered to his holiness, for clothing me in these grave ornaments.
I will attend upon your lordship's leisure.
Aside.
Now Winchester will not submit, I trow, or be inferior to the proudest peer. Humphrey of Gloucester, thou shalt well perceive that neither in birth or for authority the bishop will be overborne by thee. I'll either make thee stoop and bend thy knee, or sack this country with a mutiny.
Exeunt. Scene 2. France. Plains in Anjou. Enter Charles, Burgundy, Alençon, Bastard of Orleans, Rainier, Joan la Pucelle, and forces.
This news, my lord, may cheer our drooping spirits. 'Tis said the stout Parisians do revolt and turn again unto the warlike French.
Then march to Paris, royal Charles of France, and keep not back your powers and dalliance.
Peace be amongst them, if they turn to us. Else, ruin combat with their palaces.
Enter Scout.
Success unto our valiant general, and happiness to his accomplices.
What tidings send our scouts? I pray thee, speak.
The English army that divided was into 2 parties is now conjoined in one, and means to give you battle presently.
Somewhat too sudden, sirs, the warning is, but we will presently provide for them.
I trust the ghost of Talbot is not there. Now he is gone, my lord, you need not fear.
Of all base passions, fear is most accursed. Commend the conquest, Charles, it shall be thine. Let Henry fret, and all the world repine.
Then on, my lords, and France be fortunate.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Before Angers. Alarum. Excursions. Enter Joan la Pucelle.
The region conquers, and the Frenchmen fly. Now help, ye charming spells and periapts, and ye choice spirits that admonish me, and give me signs of future accidents.
Thunder.
You speedy helpers, that are substitutes under the lordly monarch of the north, appear and aid me in this enterprise.
Enter fiends.
This speedy and quick appearance argues proof of your accustomed diligence to me. Now, ye familiar spirits, that are called out of the powerful regions under earth, help me this once, that France may get the field.
They walk and speak not.
Oh, hold me not with silence overlong. Where I was wont to feed you with my blood, I lop a member of and give it you in earnest of further benefit, so you do condescend to help me now.
They hang their heads.
No hope to have redress? My body shall pay recompense, if you will grant my suit.
They shake their heads.
Cannot my body nor blood sacrifice entreat you to your wanted furtherance? Then take my soul, my body, soul and all, before that England give the French the foil.
They depart.
See, they forsake me. Now the time is come that France must veil her lofty plumed crest, and let her head fall into England's lap. My ancient incantations are too weak, and hell too strong for me to buckle with. Now, France, thy glory droopeth to the dust.
Exit. Excursions. Re-enter Joan la Pucelle, fighting hand to hand with York. Joan la Pucelle is taken. The French fly.
Damsel of France, I think I have you fast. Unchain your spirits now with spelling charms, and try if they can gain your liberty. A goodly prize, fit for the devil's grace. See how the ugly wench doth bend her brows, as if with Circe she would change my shape.
Changed to a worser shape thou canst not be.
Oh, Charles the Dauphin is a proper man. No shape but his can please your dainty eye.
A plaguing mischief light on Charles and thee, and may you both be suddenly surprised by bloody hands in sleeping on your beds.
Fell-banning hag, enchantress, hold thy tongue.
I pry thee, give me leave to curse a while.
Curse, miscreant, when thou comest to the stake.
Exeunt. Alarum. Enter Suffolk, with Margaret in his hand.
Be what thou wilt, thou art my prisoner.
Gazes on her.
O fairest beauty, do not fear nor fly, for I will touch thee but with reverent hands. I kiss these fingers for eternal peace, and lay them gently on thy tender side. Who art thou? Say that I may honor thee.
Margaret my name, and daughter to a king, the King of Naples, whosoe'er thou art.
An earl I am, and Suffolk am I called. Be not offended, nature's miracle, thou art allotted to be ta'en by me. So doth the swan her downy cygnet save, keeping them prisoner underneath her wings. Yet if this servile usage once offend, go and be free again as Suffolk's friend.
She is going.
Oh, stay! I have no power to let her pass. My hand would free her, but my heart says no, as plays the sun upon the glassy streams twinkling another counterfeited beam, so seems this gorgeous beauty to mine eyes. Fain would I woo her, yet I dare not speak. I'll call for pen and ink, and write my mind. Fie, de la Pole, disable not thyself. Hath not a tongue? Is she not here? Wilt thou be daunted by a woman's sight? Ay, beauty's princely majesty is such, confounds the tongue, and makes the senses rough.
Say, Earl of Suffolk, if thy name be so, what ransom must I pay before I pass? For I perceive I am thy prisoner.
How canst thou tell she will deny thy suit, before thou make a trial of her love?
Why speak'st thou not? What ransom must I pay?
She's beautiful, and therefore to be wooed. She is a woman, therefore to be won.
Wilt thou accept of ransom, yea or no?
Fond man, remember that thou hast a wife. Then how can Margaret be thy paramour?
I were best to leave him, for he will not hear.
There all is marred, there lies a cooling card.
He talks at random, sure the man is mad.
and yet a dispensation may be had.
And yet I would that you would answer me.
I'll win this Lady Margaret. For whom? Why, for my king. Tush, that's a wooden thing.
He talks of wood. It is some carpenter.
Yet so my fancy may be satisfied, and peace established between these realms. But there remains a scruple in that too, for though her father be the King of Naples, Duke of Anjou and Maine, yet he is poor, and our nobility will scorn the match.
Hear ye, captain, are you not at leisure?
It shall be so, disdain they ne'er so much. Henry is youthful and will quickly yield. Madam, I have a secret to reveal.
What though I be enthralled? He seems a knight, and will not any way dishonour me.
Lady, vouchsafe to listen what I say.
Perhaps I shall be rescued by the French, and then I need not crave his courtesy.
Sweet madam, give me a hearing in a cause.
Tush, women have been captivate ere now.
Lady, wherefore talk you so?
I cry you mercy, 'tis but quid for quo.
Say, gentle princess, would you not suppose your bondage happy to be made a queen?
To be a queen in bondage is more vile than as a slave in base servility, for princes should be free.
And so shall you, if happy England's royal king be free.
Why, what concerns his freedom unto me?
I'll undertake to make thee Henry's queen, and put a golden sceptre in thy hand, and set a precious crown upon thy head, if thou wilt condescend to be my...
What?
His love.
I am unworthy to be Henry's wife.
No, gentle madam, I unworthy am to woo so fair a dame to be his wife, and have no portion in the choice myself. How say you, madam? Are ye so content?
And if my father please, I am content.
Then call our captains and our colours forth, and madam, at your father's castle walls we'll crave a parley to confer with him.
A parley sounded. Enter Rainier on the walls.
See, Rainier, see thy daughter prisoner.
To whom?
To me.
Suffolk, what remedy? I'm a soldier and unapt to weep, or to exclaim on fortune's fickleness.
Yes, there is remedy enough, my lord. Consent, and for thy honour give consent. Thy daughter shall be wedded to my king, whom I with pain have wooed and won thereto, and this her easy held imprisonment hath gained thy daughter princely liberty.
Speak Suffolk as he thinks.
Fair Margaret knows that Suffolk doth not flatter, face, or feign.
Upon thy princely warrant I descend to give the answer of thy just demand.
Exit from the walls.
And here I will expect thy coming.
Trumpets sound. Enter Rainier below.
Welcome, brave earl, into our territories. Command in Anjou what your honour pleases.
Thanks, Rainier, happy for so sweet a child, fit to be made companion with a king. What answer makes your grace unto my suit?
Since thou dost deign to woo her little worth, to be the princely bride of such a lord, upon condition I may quietly enjoy mine own, the country Maine and Anjou, free from oppression or the stroke of war, my daughter shall be Henry's if he please.
That is her ransom. I deliver her, and those 2 counties I will undertake your grace shall well and quietly enjoy.
And I again, in Henry's royal name, as deputy unto that gracious king, give thee her hand for sign of plighted faith.
Rainier of France, I give thee kingly thanks, because this is in traffic of a king.
Aside.
And yet methinks I could be well content to be mine own attorney in this case. I'll over then to England with this news, and make this marriage to be solemnized. So farewell, Rainier. Set this diamond safe in golden palaces as it becomes.
I do embrace thee as I would embrace the Christian prince King Henry were he here.
Farewell, my lord. Good wishes, praise, and prayers shall Suffolk ever have of Margaret.
Going.
Farewell, sweet madam. But hark you, Margaret, no princely commendations to my king.
Such commendations as becomes a maid, a virgin, and his servant. Say to him.
Words sweetly placed and modestly directed. But, madam, I must trouble you again. No loving token to his majesty?
Yes, my good lord, a pure unspotted heart, never yet taint with love, I send the king.
And this withal.
Kisses her.
That for thyself. I will not so presume to send such peevish tokens to a king.
Exeunt Rainier and Margaret.
Oh, wert thou for myself! But, Suffolk, stay, thou mayst not wander in that labyrinth. There minotaurs and ugly treasons lurk. Solicit Henry with her wondrous praise, bethink thee on her virtues that surmount and natural graces that extinguish art. Repeat their semblance often on the seas, that when thou comest to kneel at Henry's feet, thou mayst bereave him of his wits with wonder.
Exit. Scene 4. Camp of the York in Anjou. Enter York, Warwick, and others.
Bring forth that sorceress condemned to burn.
Enter Joan la Pucelle, guarded, and a shepherd.
Joan, this kills thy father's heart outright. Have I sought every country, far and near, and, now it is my chance to find thee out, must I behold thy timeless cruel death? Joan, sweet daughter Joan, I'll die with thee.
Decrepit miser, base ignoble wretch, I am descended of a gentler blood. Thou art no father nor no friend of mine.
Out, my lords, and please you, 'tis not so. I did beget her, all the parish knows. Her mother liveth yet, can testify she was the first fruit of my bachelorship.
Graceless, wilt thou deny thy parentage?
This argues what her kind of life hath been, wicked and vile, and so her death concludes.
Fie, John, that thou wilt be the obstacle. God knows thou art a collop of my flesh, and for thy sake I have shed many a tear. Deny me not, I pray thee, gentle Joanne.
Peasant, I won't. You have suborned this man of purpose to obscure my noble birth.
'Tis true. I gave a noble to the priest the morn that I was wedded to her mother. Kneel down and take my blessing, good my girl. Wilt thou not stoop? Now cursed be the time of thy nativity. I would the milk thy mother gave thee, when thou suck'dst her breast, had been a little ratsbane for thy sake. Or else, when thou didst keep my lambs afield, I wish some ravenous wolf had eaten thee. Dost thou deny thy father, cursed drab? Oh, burn her, burn air, hanging is too good.
Exit.
Take her away, for she hath lived too long to fill the world with vicious qualities.
First, let me tell you whom you have condemned. Not me begotten of a shepherd swain, but issued from the progeny of kings, virtuous and holy, chosen from above, by inspiration of celestial grace, to work exceeding miracles on earth. I never had to do with wicked spirits, but you, that are polluted with your lusts, stained with the guiltless blood of innocence, corrupt and tainted with 1,000 vices, because you want the grace that others have, you judge it straight a thing impossible to compass wonders but by help of devils. No, misconceived. Joan of Arc hath been a virgin from her tender infancy, chaste and immaculate in very thought. Whose maiden blood, thus rigorously effused, will cry for vengeance at the gates of heaven.
Ay, ay, away with her to execution.
And hark ye, sirs, because she is a maid, spare for no faggots, let there be enow. Place barrels of pitch upon the fatal stake, that so her torture may be shortened.
Will nothing turn your unrelenting hearts? Then, Joan, discover thine infirmity, that warranteth by law to be thy privilege. I am with child, ye bloody homicides. Murder not then the fruit within my womb, although ye hale me to a violent death.
Now heaven forfend the holy maid with child.
The greatest miracle that e'er ye wrought Is all your strict preciseness come to this?
She and the Dauphin have been juggling. I did imagine what would be her refuge.
Well, go to. We'll have no bastards live, especially since Charles must father it.
You are deceived. My child is none of his. It was Alençon that enjoyed my love.
Alençon, that notorious Machiavel. It dies, and if it had 1,000 lives.
Oh, give me leave, I have deluded you. 'Twas neither Charles, nor yet the Duke I named, but Regnier, King of Naples, that prevailed.
A married man! That's most intolerable.
Why, here's a girl. I think she knows not well there were so many whom she may accuse.
It's sign she hath been liberal and free.
And yet, forsooth, she is a virgin pure. Strumpet, thy words condemn thy brat and thee. Use no entreaty, for it is in vain.
Then lead me hence, with whom I leave my curse. May never glorious sun reflects his beams upon the country where you make abode, but darkness and the gloomy shade of death environ you, till mischief and despair drive you to break your necks or hang yourselves.
Exit. Guarded.
Break thou in pieces and consume to ashes, thou foul accursed minister of hell.
Enter Cardinal of Winchester, attended.
Lord Regent, I do greet your excellence with letters of commission from the king. For know, my lords, the states of Christendom, moved with remorse of these outrageous broils, have earnestly implored a general peace betwixt our nation and the aspiring French. And here at hand the Dauphin and his train approacheth, to confer about some matter.
Is all our travail turned to this effect? After the slaughter of so many peers, so many captains, gentlemen, and soldiers, that in this quarrel have been overthrown, and sold their bodies for their country's benefit, shall we at last conclude effeminate peace? Have we not lost most part of all the towns? By treason, falsehood, and by treachery, our great progenitors had conquered. O Warwick, Warwick, I foresee with grief the utter loss of all the realm of France.
Be patient, York. If we conclude a peace, it shall be with such strict and severe covenants as little shall the Frenchmen gain thereby.
Enter Charles, Alençon, Bastard of Orleans, Rainier, and others.
Since, lords of England, it is thus agreed that peaceful truce shall be proclaimed in France, we come to be informed by yourselves what the conditions of that league must be.
Speak, Winchester, for boiling choler chokes the hollow passage of my poisoned voice by sight of these our baleful enemies.
Charles, and the rest, it is enacted thus, that in regard King Henry gives consent, of mere compassion, and of lenity, to ease your country of distressful war, and suffer you to breathe in fruitful peace, you shall become true liegemen to his crown. And Charles, upon condition thou wilt swear to pay him tribute, submit thyself, thou shalt be placed as viceroy under him, and still enjoy thy regal dignity.
Must he be then as shadow of himself, adorn his temples with a coronet, and yet in substance and authority retain but privilege of a private man? This proffer is absurd and reasonless.
'Tis known already that I am possessed with more than half the Dalian territories, and therein reverenced for their lawful king. Shall I, for lucre of the rest unvanquished, detract so much from that prerogative as to be called but the viceroy of the whole? No, Lord Ambassador, I'd rather keep that which I have than, coveting for more, be cast from possibility of all.
Insulting Charles! Hast thou, by secret means, used intercession to obtain a league, and, now the matter grows to compromise, stand'st thou aloof upon comparison? Either accept the title thou usurp'st, of benefit proceeding from our king, and not of any challenge of desert, or we will plague thee with incessant wars.
My lord, you do not well in obstinacy to cavil in the course of this contract. If once it be neglected, 10 to 1 we shall not find like opportunity.
To say the truth, it is your policy to save your subjects from such massacre and ruthless slaughters as are daily seen by our proceeding in hostility, and therefore take this compact of a truce, although you break it when your pleasure serves.
How sayest thou, Charles? Shall our conditions stand?
It shall. Only reserved you claim no interest in any of our towns of garrison.
Then swear allegiance to his majesty, as thou art knight, never to disobey, nor be rebellious to the crown of England, thou nor thy nobles to the crown of England. So, now dismiss your army when ye please, hang up your ensign, let your drums be still, for here we entertain a solemn peace.
Exeunt. Scene 5. London, the Palace. Enter Suffolk, in conference with King Henry the Sixth, Gloucester, and Exeter.
Your wondrous rare description, noble Earl, of beauteous Margaret hath astonished me. Her virtues graced with external gifts do breed love's settled passions in my heart, and like as rigour of tempestuous gusts provokes the mightiest hulk against the tide, so am I driven by breath of her renown, either to suffer shipwreck, or arrive where I may have fruition of her love.
Tush, my good lord, this superficial tale is but a preface of her worthy praise. The chief perfections of that lovely dame, had I sufficient skill to utter them, would make a volume of enticing lines, able to ravish any dull conceit. And which is more, she is not so divine, so full replete with choices of all delights, but with as humble lowliness of mind she is content to be at your command. Command, I mean, of virtuous, chaste intent, to love and honour Henry as her lord.
And otherwise will Henry ne'er presume. Therefore, my Lord Protector, give consent that Margaret may be England's royal queen.
So shall I give consent to flatter sin? You know, my lord, your highness is betrothed, and to another lady of esteem. How shall we then dispense with that contract, and not deface your honour with reproach?
As doth a ruler with unlawful oaths, one that at a triumph of having vowed to try his strength forsaketh yet the lists by reasons of his adversaries' odds. A poor earl's daughter is on equal odds, and therefore may be broke without offence.
Why, what, I praise Margaret more than that? Her father is no better than an earl, although in glorious titles he excel.
Yes, lord, her father is a king, the king of Naples and Jerusalem, and of such great authority in France as his alliance will confirm our peace and keep the Frenchmen in allegiance.
And so the Earl of Armagnac may do, because he is near kinsman unto Charles.
Beside, his wealth doth warrant a liberal dower, where reigneers sooner will receive than give.
A dower, my lords? Disgrace not so your king, that he should be so abject, base, and poor to choose for wealth and not for perfect love. Henry is able to enrich his queen, and not seek a queen to make him rich. So worthless peasants bargain for their wives, as market men for oxen, sheep, or horse. Marriage is a matter of more worth than to be dealt with by attorneyship. Not whom we will, but whom his grace affects, must be companion of his nuptial bed. Therefore, lord, since he affects her most, it most of all these reasons bindeth us. In our opinion she should be preferred. For what is wedlock forced but a hell, an age of discourse and continual strife, whereas the contrary brings bliss, and is a pattern of celestial peace? Whom should be matched with Henry, being a king, but Margaret that is daughter to a king? Her peerless feature, joined with her birth, approves her fit for none but for a king. Her valiant courage and undaunted spirit, more than in women commonly is seen, will answer our hope in issue of a king. For Henry, son unto a conqueror, is likely to beget more conquerors, if with a lady of so high resolve as is fair Margaret he be linked in love. Then yield, my lords, and here conclude with me, that Margaret shall be queen, and none but she.
Whether it be through force of your report, my noble lord of Suffolk, or for that my tender youth was never yet attaint with any passion of inflaming love, I cannot tell. But this I am assured, I feel such sharp dissension in my breast, such fierce alarums both of hope and fear, as I am sick with working of my thoughts. Take therefore shipping. Post, my lord, to France. Agree to any covenants, and procure that Lady Margaret do vouchsafe to come, to cross the seas to England, and be crowned King Henry's faithful and anointed queen. For your expenses and sufficient charge, among the people gather up a 10th. Begone, I say, for till you do return, I rest perplexed with 1,000 cares. And you, good uncle, banish all offence. If you do censure me by what you were, not what you are, I know it will excuse this sudden execution of my will. And so conduct me where from company I may revolve and ruminate my grief.
Exit.
Ay, grief, I fear me, both at first and last.
Exeunt Gloucester and Exeter.
Thus Suffolk hath prevailed, and thus he goes, as did the youthful Paris once to Greece, with hope to find the like event in love, but prosper better than the Trojan did. Margaret shall now be queen and rule the king, but I will rule both her, the king, and realm.
Exit. End of Act 5. End of Henry the Sixth Part 1 by William Shakespeare.